Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, ImperialDane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, your only sanctioned source of comedy to entertainment, or theatre 1v1 on Faymonville Approach. In the north, it is Youknownothing, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Here with the 2nd Armoured Division with airborne recon support and mechanized. In the south, it is the one, the only ImperialDane himself, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. The 116th Panzer Division, Windhund. Here with German Infantry, featuring 250-1 half-tracks, veteran squad leaders, stormtroopers, assault and hold, and fragmentation bombs. We got Pioneers busy grabbing points with a gun of the MG42 opening here. Double rifle squad here for Youknownothing. And as always, a big hearty thanks to the Propagandacast company heroes themselves, the Patreon supporters, for their continued support. The Propagandacast course is able to deliver daily propaganda, so thanks to all of those. Other people can join the ranks, support the worth it by Patreon, or they can donate via PayPal, links in the description. You can also come to the pre-ordering companies 3, and we already got some pretty aggressive action in the early game, by the way. Not even 2 minutes before the fight begins, almost even below a minute, but I'll consider pre-ordering companies free for the link in the comments. Use the code CoH2, in which case you get a cut of the sale. And finally, just comment, like, share, subscribe. So, second gun is going on for me. We'll have to see what Youknownothing goes for next here. Could be seeing here by the recon supports on our Pathfinders, which go along with the raid tactics, airdrop combat groups, M80 Greyhounds, and the M83 cluster bombs. Got the fuel point here, we got the machine moved towards the center in the south here, we got the Grenadiers heading southwards here. In this case, I'm mostly focused just on the territory around my base, since that's, kind of safe. I don't want to, dive too hard in against the Americans, since if my Grenadiers run into a rifle squad at the wrong angle, the rifle squad will handily beat the Grenadiers. So, rather to play it a bit safe. Not super safe, obviously, but, wait to have a slightly more cohesive formation to push forwards with before running into the heavily armed Americans. Bit of quiet here, but yeah, recon support. Could see a lieutenant captain built into a Greyhound. Maybe we'll have to see exactly what Youknownothing goes for. In the south, the Grenadiers moving forwards. Shots fired here between the Grenadiers and the Yeshans. M1 carbines versus Kar-90 Ks. Rifle squad attacking into that as well. Beacons in the center alongside the Pathfinders up north here. We got the rifle squad popping to the building here, but being surrounded steadily by German troops popping out the back door, interestingly enough. In the south here, quick attack here is going to force my Grenadiers off the field here, as obviously there's no way in the 9 hells they're going to even remotely have a chance of that engagement. Third Grenadier squad there for me. Still moving about with the rifle squad there. Grabbing the western munitions. Or northern munitions, I suppose. Interesting enough, he pops around here. I'm not entirely sure why. Obviously could try and bait me into the building and then, pop in back. But I was not entirely sure if I moved away from it overall there. Because it does technically allow me to just sneak out from the mission point towards the building occupied. And then he's going to be stuck out in the open there. Email Grenadiers from Torch 7 got 2 squads ready here to stop my advance there. The Rifle Squad and the Pathfinders. Tech slowly arriving there for Deutschland. And I imagine Youknownothing will probably be playing some tech spin as well. In fact, we got the lieutenant all the way. And there we go with the building occupied up north. Rifle Squad, they're also forced to pull back in the face of the German Wehrmacht. Michigan in from the north here, ready to fill some Americans with a lot of good old-fashioned German lead. Up north there, Rifle Squad pushed back. Attack almost done there for me. Reconnaissance grabbing the southern point here. Grenadier pushing forwards for Deutschland. And a 5th kill on the way for Youknownothing to help deal, of course, with those menacing, advancing Germans. The only way Americans know how to deal with it, which is, of course, this with the heavy caliber machine guns. Rifle squad caught here by the MG42 and the Grenadiers. See quick retreat here. 250 half-tech being rushed out for me. You notice I keep saying people, go for it. Well, I actually go for it when I have the option. So, like to schützen Panzerwagen on the way for me. To quickly get myself some early mechanization here to pressure the Americans with and try and swiftly outmaneuver them and certainly keep them a bit more on the back foot. Far up north here, Pioneers about to grab some points, but they're about to get rebuffed here. Lieutenant on the move, 5th cal arriving here for him. 250 half-tech almost done. Rifling and the Pathfinders saying they're packing in the south here. Grenadiers with the Reconnaissance. Not going to help the Grenadiers with the Reconnaissance are definitely giving them a bit of a hard time there with their carbines. And as a fun fact, the M1 carbine, besides being popular with elite units like the paratroopers and such, in the US Army, was also kind of a popular trophy weapon with the German troops as well, who also like, the fairly nice handling of the gun alongside good rate of fire. So there you go, 250 half-tech ready. Rushing straight for the Grenadiers here. For Deutschland. north, you can see there, though, Youknownothing quickly swoops in there for freedom and democracy, seizing points here where he can. And there go Grenadiers right to the half-track, quickly mechanizing themselves, as Germans are wont to do. There's a reason the Germans built the Autobahn. So, heading northwards here with the Leichtschützen Panzerwagen. Panzergrenadier following up for me here. Gonna equip them with the Panzerschrecks. There we go, Ralph's caught about hammered here by the mechanized fist of the Third Reich. There we go, quick retreating here. Doesn't decide to figure out, you know, how much damage he can take in a short amount of time. Then the south here, Grenadiers being hit by the 5th Cal. After they're going to back off, other Grenadiers grab the northern fuel pump. But so far, as you might notice, with my aggressive tactics, I'm hitting the fuel pumps, I'm controlling them fairly well. The half-track helps give me the mobility to actually control a larger swath of territory than I normally otherwise would. So, you know, mechanization, it's cool, kids. Panzer squad arriving here. I'm going to pop it into the half-track here, rush it towards the southern fuel here. I will eventually add Panzerschrecks, but I don't want to like to have them pop the Panzerschrecks here in the wrong time. Meanwhile, Youknownothing is rushing out the M51 Stuart. So yeah, already some high-octane gameplay here in the early game here with me, the one and only master of mechanization and propaganda. Man, I'm just good, aren't I? Nope. Anyways, rushing to the 5th Cal here, flanking up behind here. Anti-tank rifle off, that's going to match. That's going to hit the 5th Cal right up hard here with the Leichtschützen Panzerwagen. Getting some kills with the Panzergrenadiers. Now the squad moving in. I'm going to turn around the half-track and set them into defensive mode here. Allowing it to maybe survive another anti-tank rifle grenade. Or at least just allow enough damage on the rifle squad here. And there we go. Quick retreat here. And in fact, we even got a wipe in Youknownothing. Absolute just mechanized madness / glory. Up north of here, though, Youknownothing strikes my isolated northern Grenadier squad, pushes it back. Stuart is on the move here. Spotted there. My Panzergrenadier there need to get away there and get the munitions for, or get into, you know, friendly territories. Can upgrade with the Panzerschreck. Stuart racing ahead here. Half-track, desperately trying to get out of there. Panzergrenadier suffering losses in the face of the American M5A1 Stuart, a light tank. Grenadier pushing forwards, Pioneers moving about here as well, trying to fix up the half-track. Almost got to wipe them. My Panzergrenadiers, that have been quite painful there for me, for sure. Up north here, ground points here. We got lots of beacons here, by the way, from Youknownothing. And I'm adding in a Stormtrooper squad and in the MP40s for some Schmeisser-based action, though Schmeisser was not really related to the MP40 at all. But it was colloquially known by the Western Allies as the Schmeisser, despite that. Turns out the Western Allies weren't really good at naming German equipment. So Lieutenant push back here. Comes there getting upgraded with the Raketen Panzerbüchse, half-track being fixed up. And I believe I would like to add a Panzerschreck to my Storms as well there, giving me a total of 3 Panzerschrecks as that Stuart light tank. Plus the idea again he might also go for Greyhound has me a bit concerned and thinking, you know what? I want a few extra Panzerschrecks, just in case. Meanwhile here, Youknownothing responds to the half-track with a bazooka of his own to meet this mechanized Wunderwaffe there. It's basically an up-armored version of a German 1-ton tractor, basically. In fact, the 250 half was an up-armored version of the, well, 3-ton tractor, basically half-track. So, fun fact there. Almost got the Panzergrenadier hit with the Stormtroopers. It's a weird note, when they upgrade the Panzergrenadier, they lose the MP40 icons. They can sort of give away what they're doing there. Stuart backing off, and now we got the half-track there on the hunt for the Stuart light tank here. Charging in there for Deutschland. Both rockets impact on the Stuart, crashing through the frontal armor. The crew somehow miraculously survives the encounter with 2 88mm rockets. The half-track does not. And there we go. Multiple rockets scream at the Stuart, causing it to completely explode here. Bung grenade at the 5th Cal, and almost blowing apart my own squad in the process. Storms were there, narrowly don't get a wipe there in the 5th Cal either, but that was a violent exchange there of rockets, which I'd argue I came out slightly ahead here of Youknownothing, since trading a half-track for Stuart is, you know, pretty good economy for the Germans to a degree. It's a little fun note there. Graham Son, the Pathfinder here, of Northing about there. The 250 half-track was typically part of a German Panzer Division's reconnaissance units, specifically the Aufklärer, which were basically Panzergrenadiers meant to support the armoured counter-recons. They're actually not scouts themselves. They're just meant to support the scouts. But a lot of the time, they would just serve as another armoured Panzergrenadier unit in the division, since, you know, those were pretty good. So a little fun fact there. Moving straight ahead here with the tank, since I figure with the Stuart gone, decent, full control here. I can get away, with rushing for armor there. Don't need tier 2. I got, the Panzers, the stormtroopers. Who needs more in life, eh? Grenadiers going up here, Pathfinders nearby. Of course, need to be mindful of a potential artillery strike here from this one. Could quickly wipe a unit if I'm not cautious. But there you go. Youknownothing, of course, here. A sharp and sneaky operator here commits the Greyhound here, which will definitely surprise me, as I'm not expecting Greyhound by this point. I mean, again, potentially maybe earlier, but by now, it's sort of completely slipped my mind. So when I suddenly see the Greyhound, I obviously have to adapt my plans. Well, not by a lot, since I still have 3 Panzers. This time around, though, they actually hit the beacon there, but not the Greyhound. Going straight here for the MB-42 with its gun. We've got a cancer shot off here, causing further casualties. Scouring the ditches there for any potential hidden Germans as well. Stormtroopers charging across the road here. Panzergrenadiers there. I think they accidentally retreated. I don't think I intend to retreat them there, but I actually did because I thought he was going to drive into my base. So I figured, best way to get them there was retreat them. So, and then he, of course, just backs off. So I kind of look silly there. Go figure. Nothing there. Bauer has gone for more Pathfinders, which is interesting. You'd figure maybe go for like airdrop command groups for both the artillery, but also the paratroopers. So him going for more Pathfinders here is definitely a bit unusual, considering again he could go for like artillery and elite infantry. Also worth noting at this point, I've technically have 5 squads of infantry. Like one of them is fairly downgraded with 2 Panzers, so not quite that clear cut. But I still crucially have a fair amount of infantry. Panzergrenadiers though, Panzergrenadiers going for the hunt here for the Greyhound. One rocket connects, the other one clears out a squirrel nest. Pushing forwards here for Deutschland. 116th Panzer Division charges ahead here. 2nd Panzeraufklärer Company. Probably that's the first. Picks up the Greyhound here. No further tech aid here for Youknownothing. Although, there we go, we got the captain. He's obviously realizing he's going to be in the end up receiving, a lot of German armor. So he's going to go for the captain and start bringing up the anti-tank guns. Which, shown in a map like this, is a very strong strategy because the map is not exactly so much noticed big. So it's much easier just, park down with a pair of anti-tank guns at the right spot and go fairly defensive. I'm bringing out last minute, put pressure on the infantry and the light vehicles. Almost lost the Grenadier squad here to the Greyhound. In fact, good chance of wipe here unless I get very, very lucky, which I do not. Far up north here, Youknownothing sneaks up here to grab the points there. Very good there for him. Ostwind Flak Panzer halfway done here. Open setting out there. Stormtroopers as well. Grabbing the point here. Personally, I prefer Panzers power over packs because tactically, this sort of suit my playstyle more and more a fluid, aggressive play. Again, I also like to use half-tracks, and you can't really tell the anti-tank guns in Communists 2. Communists 3, sure, but in Communists 2, yeah. So, I feel myself less incentivized to using anti-tank guns compared to Panzers. Sure, they're more expensive, but you get to do more fun stuff, and at least what I find to be fun. So that's sort of the reasoning there, if you're wondering. Not saying it's the most optimal overall, but for my playstyle, it works better, I find. And I think a crucial element to command is playstyle also matters. But there you go. Cluster bombs unleashed, 110 munitions, quite powerful ability here. Rout squad being pursued by the Flak Panzer. And there you go, Youknownothing with the M1 anti-tank gun on the way here to meet the crap menace. And with the captain out, it also puts him, roughly at 5 squads here. Although now down to 4, so fairly, heavy infantry presence on both sides. Just so you also noteworthy there. Not super common you get these kind of like, more infantry-heavy matches. Panzers are flying at the Greyhound. Almost got it. But Oberfeldwebel Ludwig there, sadly, didn't quite land all of the rockets perfectly. Austin pursuing the Greyhound. Almost got it. Main gun knocked out. But he does survive the encounter there. Stormtroopers rapidly advancing. Panzergrenadiers and Grenadiers at basic ground points here. And we got more troops heading out. Got the Pathfinder squad trying to hunt in the south. Quick for the fuel point because, well, denying them fuel is pretty good. And there you go. Anti-tank and again the Flak Panzer. Which, of course, also signals to me I do have to start getting concerned about anti-tank guns. Machine gun wing forwards. Note, I'm not going to use this building with machine gun because against recon support, that's pretty much begging for an artillery barrage. So I'm definitely, you know, have to more mentally keep my machine gun more moving here because, again, otherwise he's going to punish me with this one. And here is the MG42, Pathfinders in the south here as well, surrounding the stormtroopers a bit here. In the center, pushing forward for freedom and democracy, and up north at 5th Cal, routed here. Grenadier on the way for me because, you know, partly, again, in German 1v1, at some point you want a mortar, in my opinion, or some other light artillery, but particularly the way the fighting is going here, mortar would just be a very handy addition. And Faymonville Approach in particular is just a map where light artillery is really good because, again, aforementioned reasons. It's a very compact map, which, again, same reason of just going for a bunch of anti-tank guns is great. Going for light artillery here is also really great, which just further adds another question mark as to why didn't he go for airdrop combat groups? Because, again, the pack cards on this map is kinda nuts. I'd say he's obviously doing well in other regards, but, you know, it's just one of those question marks. Major on the way there for Youknownothing. Black Panzer ones were sitting out there for Deutschland. Got a full column there of Stormtroopers and Panzergrenadiers with a total of 3 Panzerschrecks, which is about 360 damage in one burst. More to the wipe by the cluster bombs. And he's just really got like a lot of beacons all over the place. He just keeps throwing them down because they are free after all. Grand Corps by the Flak Panzer. Panzerschreck shoots, misses. Pathfinder spotted. Anti-tank gets a great on the Flak Panzer. Pathfinders there might soon find themselves on a pathway to hell there if they're not careful. Got to think about wrecking that beacon. But as you might notice, I'm not too focused just trying to ground down through the center. I'm looking towards, like, find a new path to attack from where I'm trying to, like, you know, hope he's not pointing every gun he's got. It's all about maneuver. Which is also, again, a bit tough on the Faymonville Approach because, again, it is a fairly compact map. It's not impossible, but it certainly requires a fair amount, a bit more effort at times. It's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of Faymonville, if I have to be perfectly honest. Quick smoke grenade, the advancing Americans, anti-tank also at the ready here. When he's pushing forward, also finally got some upgrade of the veteran school upgrade. Definitely a bit slow on that one. Panzerkampfwagen in the way here. Currently, I don't really feel like there's much reason for me to go for Stugs. I'm certainly had an armor, but also, again, the map combined with the potential of a lot of anti-tank guns slightly downgrades my overall, you know, immediate need for Sturmgeschütze. Ground there being pushed back, bazooka dropped. Panzerjäger or Panzerschütze there routed as well. Mortar here from the newly recruited Granatenwerfer. There you go, Panzerkampfwagen 4 million head here for Deutschland. Greyhound charging in there for freedom and democracy here. Going for what then a Panzerschreck actually got dropped. And narrowly saved the Panzergrenadier squad there. Greyhound down, finally got rid of that one. That's a bit of a weight off my chest. I could grab the bazooka here with the Stormtrooper. Don't really want to like turn them into an anti-tank team. I'd rather at least keep 3 MP40s on them. So I'm rather trying to maybe get another unit to pick that up if possible. Enforcing, bit of healing there also could be great. Again, attacking up northwards. They're using the Major, much more expendable. And the Grenadiers will pick up the Panzerschreck, so that also means I won't be adding another Panzerschreck to the Panzergrenadiers. I mean, I could, but at this stage, you know, again, I got more armor, so I'm less in need of, like, having a full-on anti-tank team like that. This allows me to also fight better versus infantry, so it's a bit of a trade-off in. Technically, I still have, you know, 3 Panzerschrecks, just, you know, a bit more spread out. And was the captain and the half-fan squad being for 2 more Pioneers for me, since obviously with this much armor, I definitely want more Pioneers to repair them efficiently. Always a good rule of thumb, like, you know, as soon as you get to a certain point, you want, like, more units to repair your stuff faster, you know. Like, just 1 Pioneer squad or engineer or whatever, just repair, like, 2 Panzers is absolutely insufficient. For the most part, just 2 will work for the most part, but after a certain point, if you have, like, a large armored fleet, maybe like 3 Pioneers. Counter being pushed back. Great shot from the entertainer there. All victor points on control of freedom and democracy. But they've got the Panzergrenadiers heading northwards. Should I consider upgrading them with the support package? Oh, look, but I think fairly handy ability for them, honestly. Picks up the Flak Panzer here, which is pretty close to Veteran too. Another 5th car there for Youknownothing. He's also close against some Shermans. He could also be planning Jacksons. He's also got the 2nd M1 anti-tank and ready. Still, though, no sign of airdrop combat groups here for Youknownothing. Again, one of those question marks that sort of hangs over the entire thing. Because, again, pack cards on this map are kinda nuts. But also the Parrots would be another addition. Either light machine guns, or my personal preference, Thompsons. As that turns them into, like, you know, basically a 6-man Panzergrenadier squad with except better assault rifles as well. And tactical assault, which is really nuts with it. Captain the flanking info took on his current support, adding the light machine gun because for some reason I thought I couldn't upgrade them with the veteran squad despite the ability wasn't grayed out, so that's just a brain fart there by me. Still, Panzer Strike light machine gun, not a bad combo either, not a bad combo either, but you know, again, brain fart. Sherman away there for Youknownothing and the 2nd Armored Division here as the 116th Panzer Division gets ready for the next push. The division itself was actually formed up from the remnants of the 16th Panzergrenadier Division, which had been shot on the Eastern Front, and a coastal training and replacement Panzer Battalion, which is a bit of an odd unit there, but yeah, they actually training and replacement units, acting security elements, and there's, I think there's some position, I think somewhere in, I think there's Brittany or Bretagne, either of those two. A little fun fact there. Ralph getting the 5th gun, they're going hard in, but there you go, cluster bombs catching all my troops here, my assault column there in the middle of the bloody road. Panther 4, Flak Panzer lining up for push as well. 5th car caught, but with a 2nd 5th car there, I can't grab the 5th car there. We got troops pushing forward here, Flak Panzer on the move here, great hit in the engine with the Ostwind. Pushing forward here, pathing messes things up, here's the Ostwind. Just gets stuck on the Panther 4, costing me precious momentum here. And then proceeds to drive into the strategic or the fuel point here, which might just cost me up the Ostwind there. Again, another reason I'm not a huge fan of Faymonville, again, it's not got great pathing. In particular around the center here, you can really go, you know, pretty sideways with your tanks. That said, obviously, that's not to say this was a flawless assault. Definitely wasn't, and I definitely, I think, shouldn't have committed to the tanks anyways, because, as I like to point out, you typically want infantry support your armored pushes, and, well, like, there's no infantry, not even the same bloody postal code, so thumbs down to me. That was definitely me getting way too, you know, bloodthirsty there, which does happen, and committing to an assault I really shouldn't have committed to, costing me, you know, 2 excellent pieces of armor, so that was a bit of a bloody waste of me, and set me back in the face of, you know, nothing. Should at least, you know, use the mortar to deploy smoke there, so again, definitely a poorly conducted assault there by me. It definitely stings, as I do like to pride myself, you know, being one of the better attackers. But oh well. Bringing in again here with the Panzer IV and the Panzergrenadiers. Pathfinders like around the building here. Bit of heavier, more brutal fighting here again. The momentum has been lost, now it's just turning into a bit of a slug-out match. And I should eventually just, well, disengage rather than just grind myself down. Which is not really the sort of scenario where the Wehrmacht really excels. It's more about speed and firepower rather than just, you know, meat grinder matches, in my opinion. Around the centre here. Big 2 points wise, he's actually got the lead over me here. 5th guarding hold forts. This one, inch enough, has not been grabbed. He still isn't bothering with the airdrop combat group, though again, he would honestly benefit a ton from it. Panzergrenadiers being forwards here. Damaging from the Panther 4 there, but could see a wipe here on Youknownothing's rifle squad. More cluster bombs here. Really good ability. Really good. Rifle squad wiped though. Lots of cluster bombs and wiped my mortar again. Really good ability. It's basically just, you know, fragmentation bomb, except cheaper. And while taking that as fast, like, it easily does that by just, you know, being broader and just covering more, you know, terrain. Like, it's kind of nuts. And it's just cheaper too, and more easily accessible. So, fun fact there. Show them they're being fixed up. Another fun fact about these cluster bombs, particularly, is they're actually a copy of the German butterfly bomb. The Americans just straight up copied them. Got the 5th car there, finally, hauling it off there for Deutschland. Got the mortar bag in. Jürgen? Yeah. I don't feel so good with this Granatenwerfer. I can't help but feel everyone who uses it just ends up exploding. You're an artillery. Either you explode people or you explode yourself. That doesn't actually comfort me. Join the artillery. You're not supposed to be comfortable. More beacons. See, he's very consistent with those beacons, by the way. I mean, thumbs up to that. 5th coming 40 going to catch my stormtroopers out in the open. I need a smoke grenade there. Fritz Nebelkerzen. There we go. Quickly moving on the major there. The centre-wing force there for freedom and democracy. Picks on that Panzergrenadiers 4. Using the smoke again to keep up maneuvering here. But he has to retreat due to the Pathfinders. He's actually replaces all of his lost riflemen with more Pathfinders. And still, no airdrop combat group. I guess if it doesn't feel like they're worth it, but just... I don't know, like... really seems worth it to me. But there you go. More cluster bombs. Because again, they're great. Absolutely great. I mean, they had to repeatedly nerf them because, you know, just the earlier versions was really fast. We're talking like, you know, fragmentation bomb fast, while still being cheaper.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And of course, covering a much larger piece of terrain there. Panther 4 going to push back the Pathfinder. See up north, 5th kill. There was the Panther 4. Another one on the way for me again. I'm still not really seeing a lot of arguments here for the Stu 30. Of course, I love it. I'm known for it, but it's just... I also know a lot about them. It also means I know when and where to use them. And, you know, on this map with a bunch of anti-tank guns in a room where, again, like the pathing can easily mess things up for you. Yeah. Like, I'd need, like, some more convincing arguments than just a couple of Shermans, honestly. Particularly when I still had, like, you know, access to a bunch of Panzers. That's not saying I might eventually go for them, but short term, my priority is more like the infantry, the support weapons, than the armor. And more, just artillery called in here on me now. North here, anti-tank is going on the Panther 4. Good response here by Youknownothing. Again, in this case, I'm transferring northwards here instead of just constantly attacking for the south or the center. As always, try not to keep attacking the same point over and over again. I feel like it's a mistake a lot of players can keep making, in particular as the match goes on. But in my experience, if you keep always looking for a new path to attack from, you can typically find a lot more success in the long run. There you go, Panther getting the Sherman here. Youknownothing definitely extended. Probably wasn't expecting there's like 2 Panther 4s out there. And there goes into the tank guns. In this case, instead of backing off, by the way, I just drive at them because I'm more likely to get out of their arcs of fire than I am by trying to get out of them. In particular, as the M1 anti-tank guns with a much higher rate of fire. Your best bet is just to, again, get out of their arc of fire as fast as possible, which, again, in this situation, meant going straight at them. So you can see there, by charging at the anti-tank guns, rather than, trying to get out by going backwards here, I was actually able to keep my Panther 4s alive. So again, it's not something you typically see, talked about a lot, I think. Just done in a lot of my replays. But again, typically, in some cases, not all, but sometimes you'll find that the better choice actually is to charge the anti-tank guns, depending on like what's behind them. In this case, of course, nothing, then trying to actually just, go reverse. So that one took a bit longer there. Plane's about to get wiped out here. Great wipe there for Youknownothing. That's great for me. And there you go. Panzers there pursuing the Sherman and the surrounding units here. France there with the Panzerfaust on the Sherman. About to Reconnaissance on his own base. We've got artillery called in here by him. But the Panzergrenadiers cannot be stopped. Deutschland vorwärts. And there you go. Sherman kaput. Even trying to take out the other one that's not quite working out and how to retreat there. 5th Cal here catching the advancing Pathfinder captain. Sounds like there's actually no action. Definitely should extend more pressure towards there. And certainly I feel like Youknownothing could also try to be a bit more active there as well himself. And less great here, drop the Panzergrenadiers. So Youknownothing, of course, knows good German quality hardware when he sees it and picks it up. Hey, look at me! I'm a German! I hate ethnic minorities! Carl, you're American. You also hate ethnic minorities. Oh, right. Sherman there being fixed up. Stormtroopers southwards. plenty of manpower being floated there by Youknownothing. Again, mortars, more machine guns. Airdrop combat groups when it gets the munitions. I don't think that's a great look if Youknownothing. I feel like he could be a bit more efficient using his resources. To put it gently. Particularly it's like, you know, got a bit of disparity in forces between me and him. Jumped to the south being attacked, didn't get them fully reinforced. Definitely a bit of a mistake there by me, to be honest. Definitely a bit of a mistake there. Another Sherman here for Youknownothing. Freedom and democracy. Grenadier advancing in the center. We've got the Sherman ready to meet any Germans head on. Sherman there, halfway done. Starting up the Panzers, ready for a push for Deutschland. Been 2 kills in these guys, by the way. I mean, you know, even 3 assault rifles, they can do a lot of harm.
Tank support is here.
More 5th kills here for Youknownothing, starting to spend up some of that manpower again. Great, though. Still lacking artillery. And again, still no airdrop combat group or caches. I definitely feel, again, here this is something where Youknownothing could definitely stand to improve just a wee bit. I could also be laying down smoke machines to push forward through the center if I wanted to, and just to use as a distraction, like make my opponent think I'm attacking through the center, then swing through the south or even the north here. Definitely need to make a bit better use of the smoke barrage there. Definitely something I don't think I did too well off in this match, actually. Northern machine about to hit by the major there. Could see an artillery strike. Finally got munitions enough for a fragmentation bomb here in the south. Panzergrenadier here versus the captain. Sturmgeist making sure that the Yankees. Just all of these beacons. Finally swing for the major up north here. Interesting enough, he did not go for the machine by calling artillery and a con for another Panzer IV. German striking force there for democracy, right to the German troops in the south. There you go. Panzergrenadier right through the side armor. Panzerfaust off here as well. More Panzergrenadier fire. Sherman down half, and there you go. Another cluster bomb. Call in here. Just so many cluster bombs. Now the Panzergrenadier, they're almost taking out the Sherman. Kills again. Enough Panzergrenadiers. Can actually add up now to pushing forward to the center here. Taking advantage of the chaos in the south to try and exploit here. So you think I'm going to attack for the south clearly. Charging forward here. Almost got the Sherman using just Panzergrenadiers and Panzerfaust by the way. Almost got here and there you go. Fragmentation bomb called in. As you might notice, while it is only fast in some ways, it's not that much faster actually in the cluster bombs now. And it's also, again, more expensive and more focused. They did clear out the anti-tank in there. Lost a Panther IV, but took out, well, 2 Shermans actually. And cleared an anti-tank gun. So yeah, all hail the Panzergrenadier. You do get a bit overlooked. As again, they do require to get, you know, up close and personal, which a lot of players aren't necessarily as comfortable with. Which I don't blame them for, but if you're willing to get, you know, a bit more Jürgen Prochnow over the opponents, you know, you can do a lot of damage there. And certainly a lot of players just, I don't think, are used to Panzergrenadiers. They actually like, you know, just stand around there getting Panzergrenadiers and suddenly, you know, they lose a tank because, again, the Panzergrenadiers can actually quickly add up. I mean, you just do 120 damage, which is a little below the anti-tank gun shot, but, you know, again, get a bunch of them going, and you're suddenly doing a lot of damage. Panzer IVs, they need repairs, though. Youknownothing fortifying ground where it can, could still benefit from an airdrop combat group, to be honest. Storms in the center here, another smoke grenade there. At least I'm using smoke there, but again, not so much for the mortar, which, again, I should be using more mortar smoke. And just taking there, banding down the road. Got it with a Rakete and Panzerbuchse there, and he actually went for another Greyhound. That's a bit of a surprise there, when he's still not going for an airdrop combat group. Guess he just doesn't like airborne? Maybe he had a girlfriend run away with one? I don't know. Now they're entering the Youknownothing to replace the one lost to the Germans. Got that Panther on the move. Should definitely upgrade them with Penvant machine guns, by the way. And I could also do with more infantry myself. I mean, I do have the, you know, acceptable bare minimum, which is 3, and certainly 2 of them are, you know, fairly elite, hardened assault troops. Heroes of the Third Reich.
AT gun ready.
There we go, more Panzergrenadiers on the way there. Thumbs up. I could also go away with some Stormtroopers, I think. Falling a bit back towards us to here. And overall, he just keeps relying on this point here. Again, he can just cover like a fair amount of like, crucial terrain with a pair of anti-tankers from here and can just, make it hard for him to like attack. But he can't fully cover either here. But he's definitely relying on me attacking through the center. And again, thing is, in most cases, that's also like, the average opponent would do. They just keep focusing on here, And again, I don't, so I'm having a bit more success in some regards. Got the Panzers here as the captain. South here, fresh push there.
We are losing a sector.
Still should upgrade those Panzers as well there with some support packages eventually. And there you go, I actually used smoke there. I did actually get around to using some smoke there. Thumbs up to me. Well, not a big thumbs up, but really. More cluster bombs, and the freshly arrived Panzergrenadier squad almost gets wiped by that. Brave in the south again, fresh push here again. I'm exploring the fact he's constantly focused in the center, but again, leaving his south there undefended then. Up north, the mortar wipe, good kill there by Youknownothing's Greyhound.
We're losing a capture point.
And again, as you might notice, I'm overall having a bit more success by not just, going all in from an angle. I'm always looking to like, probe from different angles, trying to exploit any openings my opponents make, trying to make as much ground with, as least fighting down as possible. Panzer's getting ready for another push here. But the Panther and Pioneers fighting from the south. Head-on assault becomes slightly more viable in some regards, particularly when another Panther joins in. I can even like pop Assault and Hold. In fact, I'm surprised I haven't used Assault and Hold. It's actually a really good ability. And I typically advocate it, so I find myself a bit... because I'm not using it myself. There you go, pushing forward here again. Notice, Panther here drawing attention, then another one attacks from another angle. Makes it much harder here for Youknownothing. Just point all of his guns in one angle and form up a cohesive defense. Another anti-tank there wrecked. And the anti-tank guns, as far as I'm concerned, one of the bigger priorities to deal with because the American M1s have a much higher rate of fire compared to other anti-tank guns and tanks. So the faster I can get rid of those anti-tank guns, the better for my Panzers. Almost got the ground here. I'm still surprised he went for one, honestly, at this point. He's losing the Panther 4 here, trying to get that Greyhound, but not working out. Panther 4 pulling back. And there, for some reason, the Panther 4's pathing messes up here because, as you might notice, instead of moving backwards, it suddenly decides to like do a 180-degree turn and then move forwards. Again, pathing kind of times a bit questionable, in particular on maps like Faymonville Approach. The much narrow spaces, the choke points, all that really can mess up the pathing. Again, it's one of those reasons I'm just not a big fan of Faymonville Approach or maps like it. So then, of course, me like a nice Destiny 2 Panther 4. Still, despite those losses, I'm hardly out of the fight. But now, my opponent certainly has a bit more there of an advantage in certain regards. Panther 4, with another one on the way here. Ground zone point with the Pathfinders. The Eagle's being fixed up. Bit of quiet now as both sides building up for the next push. For the next engagement. Again, as you might notice, Youknownothing is kind of playing more defensively. Like, he's, fairly comfortable with the line he's got there, and he's going to need to do most of the attacking. Which suits me fine. I like attacking, honestly. I really like attacking. I find it a lot more enjoyable than defending. Trying to hit in the south here with the Panther 4. Backing up the Panzergrenadier team. Second Panther 1 Stormtroopers moving to assist that push. Again, I'm kind of thinking, again, his south flank is, the weak spot here, and a lot of his planning here. This time around, he's much quicker to bring in support here with the anti-tank guns, so I'm definitely going to back off here. I could even consider, like, I'm throwing down a smoke grenade with the Stormtrooper to assist this. Pulling back here. And the Panther 4 here is, again, pathing kind of betrays me. Could cost me the Panther 4 as well if I'm unlucky. If I'm lucky, maybe not. Or if I'm smart enough to pop a smoke grenade, which I'm not. I'm just, probably at this point, just firmly trying to get the armor out of there in time. So yeah. Close call there, close call. Enforcing up north here. Got the guns going for the Pathfinder squad up north. Quickly send them packing. Mortar still out in the open there. He's just got so many beacons down. It's kind of amazing. Victory points wise. I'm also down to half what my opponent has here. He's been doing a fairly good job of controlling them. Fixing up the Panzer IVs. Greyhound there just having a nice bit of fresh air before popping back in. That's the last time we eat beans, Carl. The last time. Someone's plans going for the Pathfinder, so pushing them back here with some well-executed assault fire here from the assault rifles and the MP40s. Mortar still abandoned. Fixing up those Panzergrenadiers. Probably going to go for a third one again. Still, not a lot of room for Stoogs. Not a lot of room for Stoogs, unfortunately. Again, these constant double anti-tankers around here just makes it very difficult for me to like really utilize them. Sadly. Swinging the Panzergrenadier with a few well-placed shots there to the rear. North here, caught here by the MP42, which remains in position, honestly. I really shouldn't keep it for that long, but surprisingly, I haven't been punished at all here by Youknownothing, which is honestly a bit amazing that I haven't. More Panzergrenadier fire against the Sherman, pushing it back a bit here. Another Sherman there for Youknownothing. 152 versus 345. Third Panther was done. Lining up for another push here with an understrength Panzer IV platoon.
Sherman ready. Send orders.
Moving ahead with the infantry, lining up here. I've also got a fragmentation bomb ready. I'm hoping to catch the anti-tank guns together with it and just clear them out both at the same time. Panzergrenadiers once more softening up the Yankee Panzers. Go. As he's actually now pushing forward, it's actually the best time to attack into him because, again, I might catch some anti-tank guns out of position, which means they have less time to actually fire up here, less time to acquire targets, and there we go. Dying straight with the Panzer IVs again, right past the anti-tank guns, fragmentation bomb as well here, catching the anti-tank guns, in this case, also nearby Sherman, clearing up both anti-tank guns, almost got the Sherman as well here. It is utter chaos here, as the armoured fist of Deutschland punches straight for Youknownothing's face here. Sherman crewed up, gets a Panther IV, but I still think with two anti-tankers cleared out there, on top of the Sherman killed, I'm kind of ahead here. It's definitely becoming a bit of a tank graveyard at this point. Cluster bombs unleashed here, Sherman forwards, Pathfinders actually getting killed by them cluster bombs there. It's a bit of a rare sight. Up north here, Captain pushed back, but the infantry keeps forgetting it's there. Wrecking the anti-tank and see corpses flying over the place here. As the physics engines goes haywire over it. The south here, a major crewing force there for Youknownothing. Sherman head here, right into the Panther IVs, and of course, the Panzergrenadiers. Taking the advantage here to try straight after the Sherman, hoping to get it knocked out here. 50 also covering up from the infantry support here, the Panzerkampfwagen push. There we go, Pathfinder for that Pilfered Panzergrenadier. Sherman abandoned but not destroyed, and here I actually lose control of Panzer. I can't even select it there. Like, it just stops up for like several seconds. I couldn't select it there. Just that was very frustrating, actually. And does end up costing me the Panther IV there. Because again, it just literally stopped up there. No idea what happened there, but unsurprisingly, a bit frustrating. Got the Panzergrenadiers on the move here, mortar firing down there on the Pathfinders. Going for that Sherman, gonna ensure they don't get it back in action, and there we go, kaput. More Panther IVs here, major retreating here, mortar getting hit with the cluster bombs again, and getting wiped by them again. Really? Again, I have to stress this. When you compare them with the fragmentation bombs, you'd figure this one would cost more, wouldn't you? Anyways, grab the sun point of the stormtroopers. Backing off from the center, we all got another entertainment item for Youknownothing, freedom and democracy. Yeah, so far this has been a pretty brutal battle here. And now Youknownothing has some artillery because we finally got around to at least grabbing my mortar. More beacons down. And that's another Panzergrenadier ready for Deutschland. 32 kills on those Panzergrenadiers. 16 on the Stormtroopers. Norfolk's here, quickly looking to grab some more territory. 118 versus 334. MD42 gaining the ace level. Infantry pushing southwards. Catching the captain there, and he is quickly sent packing. Catch the leaders up on the northern victory point here. There you go. Also sent home. And a Sherman away for Youknownothing. South here pumping grab with the Panzergrenadiers.
The capture point is being overrun.
And forming about. And more Panzergrenadiers for me. Again, trying to move up the infantry list again.
We're losing a capture point.
Pathfinder's using the point, 14 kills, including 1 tank kill. Courtesy of that Panzergrenadier drop there. That feels a bit awkward. But a bit more quiet now here. Youknownothing definitely feeling a bit more punch drunk, I guess, and probably also at this point starting to perhaps regret not going for some purge when he could have. Storm's being forced here, but there you go, grabbing the 5th kill right under the nose. And we got those Panzers added back up at the MD42 team here. Going straight for that 5th kill there with the Panzergrenadiers get Baldeladung unleashed upon the Yankee position. Doesn't do too much damage though in the end. Rushing for the southern victory point here. There we go, another Sherman out for Youknownothing. Panda 4's heading towards the center now, possibly the south even. Enforcing here. Might want to consider going for something like a 250 half-tech a bit more mechanized infantry could be useful here as well. And Youknownothing, of course, back to double anti-tank guns. John heading south, set backed up at the captain. Cluster bombs again. Got that 5th coming up there, manned by the Stormtroopers. A mix of MP40s and Kar-19Ks apparently. Which is interesting because normally, like, you know, you don't actually get, like, you know, upgraded weapons on a support weapon like that. So that's an interesting one there. Captain caught here with the Panther 4s being ripped apart. That's the first time I've noticed that, actually. Machine gun wiped. Oh, unit wiped, actually, that's the captain. Panther was the Sherman, got the anti-tank ready here. Got the Panther on the flank here. Diving in for Deutschland here with the Blitzkrieg. Again, looking to just get past the Acra 5, the anti-tank gun here. Swing the Sherman here. Got it. And then driving straight on before the anti-tank and tries to knock out my tanky. But there we go. Panther 4 knocked anyways. Again, bit of awkward pattern there, of course, from the Panzerkampfwagen. The South Major routed due to the 5th cal there. Other Panther 4 being caught up and just so many destroyed tanks, honestly. Almost being knocked out by all the other anti-tank guns. Again, just M1 anti-tank guns just have an incredible rate of fire for anti-tank guns, which means medium armor can just quickly get knocked out. Which means this was definitely not a particularly fun fight at times, because again, the map combined with the M1 anti-tank guns really means armored tactics become quite a challenge when you also then, of course, factor in the questionable pathing at times in this map. And there you go, 250 half-turn away there for me, a lighter Schützen Panzerwagen. They again, one like get something in that's maybe like overwhelm the anti-tank guns a bit faster. Need to fix up that Panzerkampfwagen. Oh, it's got a Pioneers there with a BAR. More to find than the Grenadiers. 250 after almost done. 88 is 297. Up north, we got the Stormtroopers going straight ahead here for the mortar and the anti-tank guns. There you go. 250 have to get there. Leichter Schützen Panzerwagen. Storms were close there, but at the same time, it's the Panzergrenadiers who's up at the lead rather than the MP40 guys. Which is a bit awkward, honestly. Fought here by the 5th car there. Storms moving 40. Ambulance actually a bit in the danger zone there. And gets knocked out. Bomb grenade off here. Clears out the 5th car. Destroys it entirely. Artillery fire raining off from above here. Panther Force good to go. Machine gun almost wiped up the American artillery here. Heading southwards, but there's still that 5th car there manned by the Stormtroopers. Ready to greet any Americans with a weapon of their own. By this point, it's not looking, shall I say, super great for Youknownothing. At this point, his forces have been thoroughly mauled. Beyond much chance of recovery here. Most of his Pathfinders are dead. He's got mostly anti-tank, of course, it's going to be great as the Panther 4, but less great against, you know, all of the infantry, including the Mechanized, which are about to send charging after him. There you go, Panther up doing the anti-tank guns again. Train here makes it a bit tougher for them to be set off like that, I guess. When they're caught and move anyways. Rushing force there with the Leichter Schützen Panzerwagen. Got to finish off these anti-tank guns swiftly. There you go, quick racing ahead. Got that cleared out. 37 kills, there you go, crewed up again, but about to get cleared out pretty swiftly here. And he just pulls it back just to be safe. Got the center, got the south. North one is a bit undefended, but he's got like next to nothing left except a pair of anti-tank guns and a Pathfinder squad. Everything else is dead. And there you go, I'm finally bringing out the Stug. Because you're now thinking, you know, maybe we can just go for it. And there you go, game over. At that point, Youknownothing realizes that, yeah, he's got nothing left. Maybe that's what Youknownothing means. He knows nothing in terms of units. So there you go, game over. A loss here for the Americans, a victory for Deutschland. A fierce and brutal match, which certainly, I think, shows off some of the elements. Well, I'm not a big fan of the map, but you can still play around it. Again, overall one through, you know, attacking from several angles, not getting just bogged down in traditional warfare, but just constant flanking, attacking, utilizing aggressive tactics, like, you know, trying to overcome certain features of the terrain and my opponent's tactics. Good use of Panzergrenadiers, Stormtroopers, Panzers. Could have used some assault and hold, so I definitely think that was a mistake there by me. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match, though. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider joining the many wonderful people in the Propaganda Ministry's Propaganda Company by pledging on Patreon, or you can donate by PayPal. This is ImperialDane saying cheers. Thank you for watching. Until tomorrow again for our last episode. Bye.